What's up, YouTube? The title of this video is Why I Never Joined a Gang. I'm an African American male. I was born in the early 80s. During this time period, man, gang banging was on a rise. When I first was introduced into gang banging, I grew up in the area of Chicago called Englewood, which was ran by the GDs. The GDs and the BDs was big in my area. When I was growing up, if you was a gangbanger, you got a lot of respect. You got a lot of clout in my neighborhood. So the head drug dealer was the alpha of the block, the guy who was supplying everybody. And back then in the 80s, he didn't even have to be a GD. He just had to be a supplier. And he was the head alpha of the block because he was supplying all the drug guys, all the guys who were selling drugs. The next alpha was the guy that was over the thugs. So you had the guy that was supplying the drugs, then you had the guy that was over the thugs. Those are the two alphas on my block. Okay. Also, another guy that was looked at on my block that had a lot of clout was a guy that was a pimp. Now we had two pimps on my block, you know what I'm saying, when I was growing up. And people admired them or whatever. And what I noticed with pimps, because pimps were never really tough guys, they was usually pretty boys who knew how to manipulate women. They kept it cool with the thugs, they kept it cool with the head drug dealers, so they wouldn't fuck with them, you know. But pimps really don't have a lot of power in that chain, because they don't have the support system they have is women. So all they got is these women that's doing their bidding or whatever. Move my damn broom. But yeah. When I first growing up, I wanted to be folks. I wanted to be folks because I saw that these guys, it was a brotherhood, and I was a fatherless child. My dad was, well, I knew him, but he never spent time with me at that time in my life. So the thugs were my role model, just like the average African American young man. I grew up with my mom and my grandparents, and my granddaddy was too fucking old to really watch me. By the time I was a pre-teenager, my granddaddy was like in his late 70s, man, by the time I was a pre-teenager. So he couldn't do all those fatherly things that, you know, sneaking up on you, you know, things that fathers do, you know, checking your ass. He couldn't do that. So when I was about 9, 10 years old, you know, when I was back, see, now you could be a gangbanger at 9, 10 years old. Now they don't give a fuck. But when I was growing up, they wouldn't let you join a gang at that time. They had more structure. They made you take your ass to school. Okay. Matter of fact, we had to go to school. The thugs would make us go to school all the way up to high school. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll probably let you drop out around you 16, 17 or whatever. But the thugs was different when I was growing up. Also, you couldn't sell drugs. They found you selling drugs too young. You know, they probably was going to beat your ass and take your supply or whatever until you can't sell. You know what I'm saying? So it was a more structured environment. But what led me not to join was the disloyalty. Okay? The disloyalty within gangs. Okay? What I saw is like a lot of my friends who joined gangs, I saw some of them get locked up. Okay? At an early age, they would get put in jail. And while they was in jail, the dude that they was hanging with every day, serving with, he trying to fuck their baby mama now. Okay? Your same GD homie, you know, your same pitchfork GD homie, he's trying to fuck your baby mama now. Okay? It also happened to my cousin. My cousin, whose folks, when he got locked up, one of his friends was trying to have sex with his kid's mother. Okay? Another thing I saw that made me not want to join gangs is that when you're getting the bylaws, learning to be a part of the gang, they tell you not to be a snitch. Okay, they tell you don't snitch on nobody. You know, snitches get stitches. That's one of the things that's in probably every gang's bylaws. You do not snitch to the police. Man, I've seen so many thugs snitch, man. Snitch, man, in a minute. I mean, it was a show called The First 48, okay? And they had it in Chicago a couple of times. And within fucking 24 hours, man, niggas was snitching on each other. I mean, so that's another reason why I never joined the gang is the disloyalty. The next thing that I saw is that as time went on, gang members were religious. Okay, they were very religious when I was growing up. A lot of them read the Bible. And then if you are a Blackstone, you guys are Muslims. Okay, and Blackstones don't eat pork. They don't do these things, right? But when I moved on the east side of Chicago with my dad, because I thought about being a Blackstone because after seeing growing up around the GDs, okay, and I saw how disloyal they was, I went around the Blackstones. So I don't eat pork, okay, but I'm not a Muslim, but I just don't eat pork, and so that right there made me gravitate towards the Blackstones. But what I saw with the Blackstones, with they disloyalty, they was the most jealous-hearted gang I ever been around in my life. I mean, soon as one of them come up, man, it's, oh, that's what we on? Oh, well. It's all well, Mo. You ain't tell nobody you was about to come up, man. You just kept it to yourself, huh? You know, and the reason why you can't tell one of them motherfuckers because Blackstones are known for robbing people. They'll rob their own another Blackstone. No loyalty. One of the main reasons why I would never join a gang. No loyalty. Okay? Also, what I saw with the Blackstones I saw jealousy, no loyalty, and I saw how the Blackstones would get together and they would be all love one minute, and as soon as they walk away from each other, they talking about each other behind our back. Same thing as GDs do. GDs do the same thing. So my thing is that being in a gang, what I can understand why a young man would want to join, especially if you grew up without a dad, or you come from a broken home, and or your mother. Cause see, the first woman who ever broke my heart was my mama, and a lot of y'all thugs, a lot of the guys I grew up with, the first woman who broke their heart was their mother, because their mother probably was on crack. My mother wasn't even on crack. My mother broke my heart a whole nother way, but I'll talk about that in another video. And the thing about it is that we look for social acceptance, okay? And God put something in me, a natural born leader that I have in myself to never follow, okay? Now, I did join the military. I was in the United States Navy, and I had to be a follower for a minute. But even then, I questioned certain things. I always question things. Like I questioned joining the gang. And I'm just thankful that I didn't join, because I'd probably be in prison or underneath or buried pushing daisies because of the loyalty type of guy I am. The most loyal gang members are the ones who end up going to jail and dying. I'm going to say this one more time. The most loyal gang members are the ones who end up dying and going to jail. Okay? And the ones that are least loyal are the ones that you see out here, man. This dude that made it to 40. You know, he got a bunch of baby mamas. He ain't shit. You can't trust the dude. But he was the one who probably snitched. He was the one that when they was going to do a drive-by or whatever, you know, he was the one who chickened out. He was the least loyal one. And he'll tell you that that he made it this far and woo at the bam. But real talk, he's really a bum. Okay? And like I say, the ones that are most loyal, the ones that are most into, those are the ones who end up dying. Those are the ones you see them on a t-shirt, man. Man, this is G-Rock, man. This is my nigga, man. This is G-Rock. Man, I'm a miss G-Rock, man. That was my nigga, man. That was my nigga. Man, you know what I'm saying? Because he was the most loyal. Okay, now he's dead. And the thing about it is that I know that would have been me because of my mentality of loyalness. Like when I joined the military, I was very loyal to the military. I remember, like right now, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm very loyal to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. As a kid, I did karate. I was very loyal to karate. Okay. And that's just my mentality. Like some people just had that mentality. And that's one of the main reasons why I never joined, because of loyalty. And if you are, if you know nowadays, hopefully that nowadays it's just so much disloyalty, and hopefully this video I'm making will deter some young brother for not joining the gang, because you will not receive the loyalty that they telling you. 9 out of 10, they going to use you anyway. Especially nowadays. Nowadays, everybody want to try to start their own empire, which is crazy. Like they say, it's too many. If it's too many chiefs, and if it's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, it's gonna be hell to pay. And that's what's going on nowadays. You got a whole bunch of unqualified chiefs that are trying to run shit, and these motherfuckers ain't even been through 5 minutes of the flame. Like, comment, subscribe.